Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Mark, and it is Sunday. I think it's July 23rd or 4th, maybe 25th. Sorry, and hope you're having a good weekend. Um, Today I was thinking about a few things. If you've read my blog entry that I wrote a while ago called something about owning your own age, and the basic idea is it's a kind of a minimalist philosophy of owning as many things as you are old, as you have years. So I'm 46, so I would own 46 things. And I even broke down in the article the specific things that I would own if I only owned as many things as I am years old. Which I think is still kind of a cool idea to get to at some point. I don't own furniture or anything. Even as it is now, I probably own under 200 things. I'd say maybe close to 150 to 200. Depends on how you categorize it, right? So one of the things I talk about in there is the idea that things that go together don't count as different things. For example, if I have a computer and I need a mouse to use that computer, then I don't consider the mouse separate from the computer. I don't consider them two different things. If I need the computer in order to use the mouse, so it's a necessary component, or a monitor with a computer or desktop computer, or if you have a laptop and it has a power cord and extension, I don't count the power cord as something separate from the item that requires the power cord to operate. So computer plus power cord and mouse might be one thing. Or similarly, I wouldn't count shoelaces different than the shoes themselves. Those wouldn't be two different things. So with that caveat in mind, it's a little easier to get then to 46 things, or even to consider that maybe I just have 150 things, which seems like not that much, but actually is quite a lot of stuff. Probably 150. So, I'm thinking about next year when we're going to move to Oahu, a different island, and about really scaling down for that move, and then being prepared in a way to have everything that I need in just like one or two bags and get rid of everything else that I don't need. Clothes wise, I don't need that much. Today we're doing a little bit of house cleaning, spring cleaning. Ruhi's mopping the floors. I was doing some dishes earlier, kind of organizing and cleaning things up a little bit. And that always makes me think about, how much stuff do I actually need? What do I need? Especially related to sort of having more of a minimalist lifestyle. I don't know if you're familiar with the KonMari method. KonMari is after, I forget her name. Kon something Marie is her name. She's a Japanese woman who wrote a book or two about simplification and living with less and decluttering. You're over here, not over there. I don't know why I keep looking there. And so her books are extremely popular. The whole KonMari method is very popular. And it's essentially a minimalist philosophy, but it's done in a slightly different way than... I like to think of it as sort of part of the component... That's loud. Part of the component of minimalism. So minimalism, to me, it requires both a left and a right brain approach to living with less. And I find that most men do it sort of the logical, analytical way, and most women do it more of the feeling way. The standard minimalist method is to look at something and analyze your use patterns of it, see how much do you actually use it, do you need it, like analyzing how often you use it, when's the last time you used it, and if it's something that you don't really use that often or need that often, then you get rid of it. And sort of analyzing things much more logically and like a pattern-based approach, analytical approach. And then the KonMari method is much more of a feeling, emotional response to things. So holding something and thinking about it and sort of interpreting whether or not that has a real significant meaning to you, if it brings you joy. Her term is spark joy. So if it sparks joy in you and it creates this feeling that it really contributes to your emotional health and well-being, then you keep it and get rid of everything that doesn't. I tend to do a little bit of both. I do half and half. So I'll look at something, and first I'll approach it with an analytical perspective. Well, sometimes I do emotional. So I'll do one or the other. I'll start with one. If it's analytical, then I'll look at it and say, okay, when's the last time I used this thing? it was used, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I get rid of it. If it wasn't used that often, but I still kind of like the thing, then I'll put it in a pile of things, okay, things to consider emotionally. So then I'll go back to those things later and I'll think, okay, which things of these really have a positive emotional impact on my life, and I'll keep those things, and that whittles things down even further. Or sometimes I'll do it the other direction, where I'll look at something and just kind of based on the feeling when I'm holding these things, I'll put them in two different piles and then take the pile of things that I really like and then say, okay, realistically, how often do I use these things? This is something I actually use that often. Come on, flies, stop. Shoe fly, don't bother me. So then I'll think about that in terms of the use of the item and whether or not it's, it's useful for me. So I kind of do a little bit of both, and I think that's a smart way to do it, because the KonMari method is good, but I feel like you end up with a lot of things you don't actually use, but you just like, or have emotional context for you. And then I think the analytical approach gives you less things, but sometimes it makes you sacrifice things that really are important to you. So I kind of do half and half. And generally I tend to get rid of a lot of stuff I don't need and don't like. So that's my minimalist approach. So with that, the living your age thing, that's sort of my goal in life, really, is to get down to 46 or next year 47 things. Whoa, mosquito bite. Some bugs out here. 46 or 47 things. I'm going to start walking up there that I have in my life. And I'm going to keep progressing on that. I think it might be a good idea to start taking some inventory on the things that I own, just so that I can sort of see what it is that I have in my life right now. Because I think that would be good to analyze. Although it's also annoying to have to take inventory of all your things. But businesses do it, so maybe it's a good thing to do personally too. In any case, that's sort of my approach to minimalism and living a minimalist life. I know it's not easy for a lot of people to go with less things or go without stuff, and it's not for everyone, and different approaches for each person too, so everyone's going to approach doing it in a different way. But ultimately have to do what feels right to you, right? So I think that's it for today. Just talking about minimalism and living with less and KonMari approach. So today's Sunday, tomorrow's Monday. I mostly recovered from my slow carb free day yesterday. Ooh, that was intense. We made some mac and cheese last night from scratch. I made the roux and then put the cheese in there with some cream. And whoa, check this out. That is a Coast Guard plane. I mean, it looks small on the screen, but it looks huge. It's like right over the coast. So yeah, we had a tropical storm system come through the islands. But I'm going to put up a time lapse that I just took, so you can check that out, of the clouds here. And it's actually starting to clear out. It passed over us already, so we're getting rain still and some clouds and a bit of thunder and lightning, but it's sort of the receding edge of the storm, so it's not too bad. But that was a really big plane, flying kind of low. I hope everyone's okay out there. But anyway, that's it for today. I don't have the lapel mic, so hopefully you can hear me okay. Yeah, Monday tomorrow, start of a new week. Been actually pretty productive with work stuff this weekend, so that's cool. And going to keep it up and keep going, and everyone just keep on. I'm looking over here, but you're over here. It's because the red button's right here on the screen, so I'm looking at the red button thinking that's where I'm supposed to look. So anyway, hope you all have a great week, start to your week. Loud car, and keep on keeping on.